would like for everyone to please rise, and I would ask Councilman Henry Hurt to lead us in the Pledge of Allegiance, followed by prayer.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Heavenly Father, we thank you for another day, a day that we've never seen before and never will see again. We pray that you give those sitting around this table tonight the ability to make the best decisions for this community. Amen.
Amen. Amen. Thank you, Henry. Roll call.
Hurt.
Here.
Livingston.
Here.
Ehlers.
Here.
Dorman.
Here. Now.
Stock.
Here.
Venable.
Here.
Meadows.
Here.
Beach.
Here.
Thank you very much. Hearing of citizens' comments, do we have anyone in the audience tonight who would like to say a few words? If not, we'll move right along to approval of the minutes. You had that in your packet and have that over the weekend to read. Are there any additions or corrections or questions about the minutes? Hearing none, they will stand as presented. Consent items, we have none this evening. Presentation of accounts and claims.
Ordinance appropriating money. Be it ordained by the Council of the City of Boonville as follows. Section 1. For the purpose of paying salaries and various accounts against the City of Boonville which have been allowed by the Council at the regular meeting thereof on February 1st, 2016, the sum of $416,296.01. General Fund, $136,062.83. Sanitation, $31,231.35. CIP tax, $7,891.84. Waterworks, $105,619.91. Capital projects, $0.00. Wastewater, $83,862.02. Tourism, $3,523.06. Gaming, $48,105.00. Parks and Water, $0.00. Section 2. The accountant is hereby authorized and instructed to draw checks on the respective city bank accounts in favor of the persons whose salaries and accounts have been allowed as above, amounting to $416,296.01, being the total amount of money above appropriated. Section 3. This ordinance shall take effect and be enforced from and after its passage. First reading on February 1st, 2016, read for the second time this first day of February 2016, since a copy was made available prior to the meeting.
Second reading, title only.
Ordinance appropriating money.
Mayor, I move that we approve this ordinance.
Very good. Do I hear a second?
I second.
Susan? Got Susan first. You raised your hand. Questions? I am so impressed. Thank you that you have picked up the baton of the second reading, title only.
Yes.
Because I was going to warn you all that somebody was going to have to do that, so it sounds like you guys worked it.
You passed the baton.
That's scary.
Since it was right next to you. Okay, roll call.
Hurt.
Yes.
Livingston.
Yes.
Ehlers.
Yes.
Dorman.
Yes.
Stock.
Yes.
Venable.
Yes.
Meadows.
Yes.
Beach.
Yes.
Unfinished business, we have none this evening. New business. Item A, consider resolution R 2016-02, approving an agreement with J. Lewis Crum Corporation for water treatment plant ultraviolet light disinfection.
A resolution of the City of Boonville, Missouri, authorizing and approving an agreement between J. Lewis Crum Corporation and the City of Boonville, Missouri, pertaining to water treatment plant ultraviolet light disinfection and providing an effective date therefore, whereas the City of Boonville has solicited and received bids for this project and determined that J. Lewis Crum Corporation represents the best bid pursuant to the purchasing code set forth in Section 2-20 of the City of Boonville Code of Ordinances. Therefore, be it resolved by the City Council of the City of Boonville, Missouri as follows. Section 1. That a certain agreement between J. Lewis Crum Corporation and the City of Boonville, Missouri relating to the water treatment plant ultraviolet light disinfection, a copy of which is marked Exhibit A, is attached hereto and made a part hereof is hereby approved. Section 2, that the city administrator and the city clerk are hereby authorized to execute and attest said agreement on behalf of the city of Boonville. Section 3, this resolution shall take effect and be in full force from and after its passage and approval passed this first day of February 2016 by the City Council of Boonville, Missouri.
Just a word about J. Lewis Crum. They're the low bidder in this, and that's who we're looking to award the contract to. Of the bids we received, every one of these companies were extremely experienced in water treatment plant construction. Two of them, Stockman and Irvingville, have worked for us before at water treatment plant projects. J. Lewis Crum is a large, they're beyond a commercial plumbing firm, they're an industrial plumbing firm in Columbia, and they have also worked for us at the water treatment plant before. So we're bringing an experienced, very good company on board with this project.
Any other questions for Emil? Nice to see that it's below the engineer's estimate too, so. If there are no questions, I would entertain a motion to accept the resolution. Ned?
I move we accept it.
Thank you, Ned. Can I hear a second?
Second.
Seconds it. Discussion, last chance for questions. Roll call.
Hurt,
Yes.
Livingston.
Yes.
Ehlers.
Yes.
Dorman.
Yes.
Stock.
Yes.
Venable.
Yes.
Meadows.
Yes.
Beach.
Yes.
Thank you very much. Thank you, Emil. Item B, consider resolution R 2016-03 approving a joint venture recreational project with Boonville R1 School District and the City of Boonville.
A resolution of the City of Boonville, Missouri, identifying its goals and long-range conceptual plans and pledging its support for a joint venture with the Boonville R1 School District to improve the existing ball field and to create a premier soccer park at Boonville High School, said plan to be known hereafter as Project Pelé. Whereas the Boonville R1 School District, hereinafter the district, and the City of Boonville have agreed in principle to jointly undertake the development and enhancement of certain athletic facilities at Boonville High School, and whereas there remain innumerable details related to design, implementation, and eventual operation of the facilities that will be best addressed by a special joint committee tasked with moving the project forward by advising city and district officials on the timing, elements, and responsibilities associated with the optimal success of the joint venture, and whereas the city and the district are both committed to the project, the initial phase of which is investment and improvements to the existing baseball softball field at Boonville High School, and whereas the district will undertake the ball field improvements at its expense with some general assurances of support for the for the future of Project Pelé by the city, but both entities desire to reach a written intergovernmental agreement on more specific terms and conditions related to the development of the soccer complex as soon as a more detailed plan emerges. Therefore, be it resolved by the City Council of the City of Boonville, Missouri as follows. Section 1. That the city plans to support and sustain the joint initiative known as Project Pelé in cooperation with the Boonville R1 School District, which is scheduled for design and planning in early 2016 with construction to commence shortly thereafter. Section 2. That the start of the project will be improvements to the now existing baseball softball field on the Boonville High School property, followed by the development of a premier soccer complex on and adjacent to the property where Boonville High School is situated. Section 3. That the city's obligations to Project Pelé shall be primarily funded with proceeds from the portion of the city sales tax designated for parks and stormwater projects. Section 4. That the ultimate scope of the project as contemplated and envisioned by the city and the district will include the development and placement of 5 soccer fields available for practice, competition, league, and tournament play, one of which may be eventually be contained in an all-weather enclosure and related restrooms, concession, and parking facilities. Section 5. That the district will have input with respect to the design and placement of the soccer fields and related parking, concession, and restroom facilities for the soccer complex, and will be responsible for the initial outlay of cash to finance the first phase of the development, starting with baseball, softball field upgrades in 2016. Section 6, that the city will support the maintenance of the sport fields by contributing to the capital costs and labor required for upkeep in the short term until a more predictable division of labor emerges. Section 7, that the city shall share the cost of the district's improvements to the baseball, softball field by refunding a portion of the development expenses up to $500,000 back to the district in 2017, and will directly fund the final design and building of the soccer field complex pursuant to an intergovernmental agreement thereafter. Section 8, that the Project Palais Joint Committee is hereby established to identify, study, and make recommendations to the City Council, as well as to the district as to the terms and conditions to include in the intergovernmental agreement between the city and the district for completion of the joint project outlined herein. Section 9, this resolution shall take effect and be in full force from and after its passage and approval, passed this first day of February 2016 by the City Council of Boonville, Missouri.
Do I hear a motion? Mark?
Mayor, I move we approve this resolution.
Do I hear a second?
Second.
Thank you, Whitney. Questions or comments? Chris, did you have any comments you want to make on this, or?
Me? No.
Okay.
This is just the first reading, but it's just confusing. Who pays for what?
Well, this is a resolution, so we won't have a second reading. This
Okay.
is a resolution.
Where?
And as you can tell from reading it, this is a very broad document. It really does not spell out any of the fine details. So resolutions are different than ordinances and that sort of thing. So we're not there yet. And that's why this committee has been formed,
I see that.
is to hammer out all those little bits of minutia. And they then will bring that back to the council, and the council will,
Okay,
in concert with the school board, will determine all this.
but this resolution is saying
We're going to do this.
We're going to move forward.
we're going to move
Yes.
forward.
And
But then we get to vote on the minutia,
Yes.
some of the minutia.
And the school board has also done a resolution, I believe. So they have put forth their good faith in saying, we're willing to do this. So now it's our turn. We need to step up and say if we're willing to do this. But there's no fine details at all in here. There's a few numbers, but not many.
Okay.
So, good question. So, I'm sorry, do we have a motion?
We have a motion and
And
a
a
second.
second, okay. Any other questions? Ned?
I don't have a question, I just want to make sure that you understand that there is one financial commitment made in
Yes.
here. And that has to do with the baseball field, and the city's going to put up okay. You saw that when you read it.
I did.
And I believe that's going to happen pretty quickly. Kate, is that correct, that that's going to happen real quick? Yeah. Or Jim?
Rumor has it that there's some things happening.
That's where I get all my information is from the street.
So on behalf of the school board, yes, at our meeting where we passed our support of this future intergovernmental agreement, this resolution has presented, the contractor that did our turf football field has a period of time when they were not obligated on other projects, and our funding was such that we could advance the time schedule, which would help the council's grand plan of cash flow. So, yes, we did enter into a contract with, I believe it's ATK Sports, to commence as soon as the weather allows.
Excellent.
Good. So more than likely, it will be used this spring and summer.
So they claim that it will be within 60 days and it will be ready. So.
Okay. Roll call.
Hurt.
Yes.
Livingston.
Yes.
Ayers.
Yes.
Dorman.
Yes.
Stock.
Yes.
Venable.
Yes.
Meadows.
Yes.
Beach.
Yes.
Thank you very much. Now we have a first reading of Bill Number 2016-001, amending the solid waste collection fees.
An ordinance of the City of Boonville, Missouri, amending certain parts of Chapter 21, Article 5, Section 21-181, relating to solid waste collection fees, providing an effective date therefore, and repealing all ordinances in conflict with this ordinance.
Of course, we did discuss this in a budget workshop, and what's going up, 25 cents? Yes. Okay. And we'll vote on that at the next meeting. Item D, accept resignation of Ward 4 Councilman, Mr. Mark Livingston. There's a letter in your packet that explains what's happening, so I need a motion to accept Mark's letter. Yeah,
I move to accept it regretfully.
I know. Do I hear a second?
Second.
Mike seconds it. Okay, any questions or comments? Roll call.
Hurt,
Yes.
Livingston,
Yes?
Ayers,
Yes.
Dorman,
Yes.
Stock,
Yes.
Venable,
Yes.
Meadows,
Yes.
Speech.
Yes.
If it wasn't such a darn good reason, no, you have to stay. It's effective at the end of the meeting. If it wasn't such a darn good reason, I'd be upset about it. Reports of standing committees, the IDA and the MFA. Mark, hey, you could not believe you have 3 reports to give before you leave.
3 reports, and I didn't attend any of them. So I guess if you have questions, you need to ask somebody else.
You could have gotten kicked off the council for that.
I know.
I think actually that Jim will be giving a report, and most of that will be covered in there, so we'll just skip over that. Housing Authority, their minutes are always very thorough, and they do a great job, so I don't think we really need to go over that. And item D, Street, Alley, and Sanitation, Henry,
That meeting was canceled.
they were canceled, so we can zip right through the standing committees. Reports of city officials. City Administrator, Earl, do you have anything?
Just a reminder, next council meeting, we'll have a work session ahead of the council meeting.
Okay.
It'll be 6 o'clock. And that's on Tuesday after
The
President's
16th,
Day.
right.
Okay. Anything else? Okay. Mayor, I do have a couple of things I put at your places. I did form a committee, the Project Pele Committee, and the school board had, or the school had previously assigned 4 people to that committee, and I've added to that Scott Vogler, Gary Nauman, Kate Fiel, Jimmy Barbarotta, Carissa Mays, Ned Beach, and Vanessa Dorman. So if you are either excited or sad that you're not on this committee, just wait, because there's plenty more coming. So there's plenty for everybody. So this is just the first one of many. So anyway, Jim, well, no, Jim's pretty busy right now. Gary Nauman, could you be the acting chairman until, to get that group together? Thank you so much. Thank you very much.
We're volunteering.
So they'll be doing a lot of the details that you ask about and bringing that back to the board, of the school board, and to us. So it's going to be an interesting project and a good one. Then the second thing I think I put around to everybody was there's going to be a chili fundraiser. And you know, we've kind of batted the ball around about we need a new animal shelter, but we don't really have the money right now. So on the radio one day, Bob Bosma told about the city of Fulton, who had done fundraising in the private sector and raised a lot of money, and they built animal shelter by making a public-private partnership. So I got to thinking, that's a great idea, and there's no reason why we can't do that. So while you guys have not made any commitment to building a new animal shelter, there is a group in town who is very interested in raising funds for when that time does come. And Marcy Caldwell is sort of spearheading that group's effort. And so the first thing they decided to do was have a chili supper, or a chili lunch, I guess it is. Saturday, February the 20th, from 11 to 2. And they've gotten a lot of excitement about this. I'm really pleased at the way things are going. And I get emails from them occasionally. I've attended a couple of their meetings, and they had a few people the first time, and then they had a few more. And now when I get the email, it's like, scroll down like 5 inches because there's so many people getting the emails. So tomorrow morning at 8:20 or thereabout, right after the news on KWRT, Marcy's going to be on the radio talking about the chili fundraiser, and she has asked me to go with her to kind of explain what the city's role is in this. So here again, I have made no commitment to anybody. I'm very upfront and say this is the city council's decision, but I do feel like if there is enough interest in the public, enough money generated, that it might help you make a decision to possibly, certainly not this year, we can't do it this year, but down the road, sooner than later, do something about the animal shelter. So you can kind of hear the talk tomorrow morning if you'd like to tune in to the radio on that. And I think Jim will talk about, but we do have a press conference tomorrow morning, but I'll let Jim talk about that. City Councilor, Carissa?
No report, please.
Economic Development, Dr. Dean.
Good evening, Mayor, Council. If you'll turn to my report, which is on page 25 of your packet, as has become custom, I'll comment on a few things and then ask if you have any questions. The first thing I'd like to comment on is item 2A3, which is Project Sesame 2. I've included in your packet behind that several exchanges. We were first runner-up on a project that would have taken the Nordine facility, the Indico facility, and added on significantly to the Indico facility. As I said, we were first runner-up, and I was really hoping it was going to be one of those Steve Harvey moments where, if you saw Miss Universe, where he awarded it one, and then no pop culture reference didn't go so far. But we ultimately the project went to Rolla, and the main reason the project went to Rolla is because they had an industrial building that was vacant that was large enough to put them all under one roof. And so you see this exchange of documents back behind between myself and the site selection consultants. And the main leader of the site selection process actually left me a voicemail that was a little humorous to listen to because we were breaking up and it wasn't me, it was him. So it was a little humorous. But anyway, we were first runner-up, so, and I think our community received many kudos, and our name is now getting out there as not only a cool place, but someone who, or a place that has the ability to do economic development well. And actually, as a result of that, a direct result of that has been another very substantial lead that we've already had a site visit on that is called Project Tito. So we are now working on that. And the only reason that Tito came and looked at us is because we had performed so well as a community on Project Sesame 2, is that we impressed some folks so much by how we put that together is that another group wanted to come see us. So again, that activity is, as I've said here for several months, we've been really, really busy, and if we were selling real estate, the more showings we have is going to lead to a close at some point. I just can't predict when that's going to be. So anyway, that's been really, really busy. In the area of economic gardening, which is support for our local entrepreneurs, in your packet you see that we're now having some activity in the revolving loan fund that we established about 18 months ago or so. I think these are going to some businesses that it was directly intended for, so we're seeing some activity there. On item 4BI, or 1, we are trying to come up with some ideas around the Artex building, and there was an article on Saturday so the concept that's emerging around that is for lab room and clean room space. That building is no longer viable as a manufacturing building due to size, and it's actually more the height being an issue rather than the square footage. And over the weekend in the Sunday Tribune was an article about the oppressive need for that space in Columbia. We think we have, anyway, we're trying to figure out if there's an opportunity for Boonville in that regard. The last thing that I'll talk about is on page 26, item G, it'd be 7G, and I would encourage you to come at 10 a.m. tomorrow for an announcement. It's been well published already, but we haven't well publicized it, so I encourage you to come tomorrow. Are there any questions I can answer?
Quick question on the Artex building. That sounds remotely familiar with the incubator stuff that we looked at 8-10 years ago. Is that what that's coming out of?
Well, so the issue is not incubator space per se. So in Columbia, there is a life sciences incubator that has lab space and has some, it doesn't have really any clean room. Well, I guess it does have some clean room space, but what's happening in Columbia is that companies that go there get to a critical point, and then there's nowhere for them to go.
Right.
And Columbia is losing those companies, have lost 2 that are now publicly traded companies that are worth billions of dollars that are one's in San Diego, one's in New York City. We had interest that the Tribune article, which I didn't have in time to get in your packets, references a company that looked at Boonville to locate and couldn't find suitable space that needed to get out of the incubator. So there is a number of these lined up, and the attempt is to retain them in mid-Missouri. Columbia is going to try and attack this problem with new construction. That's going to draw out the time needed to build it. They're going to seek grant support in order to do it, which will draw it out even more.
Right.
And the owner of the Artex building has been, if we can put a deal together that makes sense, the owner of the Artex building has an interest in making those investments, again, if it makes sense. So we're in the point now of trying to determine economically, does it make sense?
It's kind of interesting because the core issue in that incubator when it first got started was establishing this I-70 corridor as not really a life science, but
well, so here's the political story behind that.
right.
The political story behind that is that when the incubator was built and Boonville was asked to contribute towards its construction, is that they were seeking monies from the Economic Development Administration to help offset the cost of the building. Well, the only way, because of the prosperity of Boone County, they needed to draw the circle bigger to make the numbers work and make it a regional approach. Then once it was built, they kind of forgot about the region.
Right.
Well, we've been working diligently to hold a mirror up to that, and in fact, Wilbert now sits on the board of directors of the incubator.
Oh, excellent.
And we're making now some connections to it in more, if they're going to seek EDA funding for the next round of construction, they're going to have to be able to demonstrate to the EDA how it benefited the region. I'm trying to position us to be the poster child of how the region would benefit it.
Excellent.
Okay, so that's the political
Yeah.
issue behind that.
Nice. It's good to see that finally take hold.
Well, it hasn't taken hold yet, but
Well, it looks as if the birthing has anyway.
oh, yeah, absolutely, the birthing has,
Yeah.
and we're losing them left and right out of Columbia. Yeah, other questions? Thank you.
Jim, you did a good job.
Thank you.
And he is busy. This might be one little line on his report. Takes weeks and weeks to organize and generate, and he is doing a great job, as you can tell from the report.
There's another partnership in here that I think, and you had some to do to get it, the one with Donna Hamilton and the micro loan thing. That's a program that's going to be very, very beneficial, and it may help out on the incubator side too. But to see it get started, Jim, is really exciting.
Okay. Any other comments? City Clerk, Teresa?
As Earl mentioned previously, I was just going to remind the council that the next regular meeting is scheduled for Tuesday, February 16th, due to the President's holiday on Monday, February the 15th.
And that is a 6 o'clock start.
Yes.
Okay. Miscellaneous, do we have any miscellaneous tonight?
I don't know if this is appropriate time, but I did get a call today about the trash rates going up, and it was a senior citizen, fixed income.
Uh-huh.
And I think he was trying to tell me that, you know, the government, they did not get a
Cost of living.
cost of living increase, so, and then they were, they were told that government agencies wouldn't be increasing costs for things as well. So here we are.
Wow.
So
I don't know who told him that, but
I don't
think it was Earl Tessendorf. And you know, 25 cents, I know every increase is an increase, but hopefully that person could handle a 25 cents a month increase.
I mean, that's sort of what I tried.
Yeah, we're
But
trying to keep the costs low.
I would feel guilty if I didn't
Okay,
get that off my.
right. Okay, very good. Anything else? Well, at this time, Mark, I'd like to ask you to please come forward here to the center. Mark is going to be leaving us. He submitted his resignation, and if it wasn't such a darn good reason for leaving, I would be really upset. He's moving to Richmond. Well, why don't you tell us?
I'm actually, Gail and I are moving to Richmond. I grew up in Richmond, and we've been gone for 35 years. Never thought we'd move back, but my parents still live there, and our kids are in Kansas City, and this month we'll have our 4th grandchild, so at least we're assuming it's this month. So we've got to be closer to the kids and then the parents. So just that time in our life.
It's a good reason, and I think there are a lot of people that you've lived here. Thought you probably were born and raised here. And so anyway, this was a hard one for me. We're going to miss you. Bring your grandkids down and play soccer on our new Project Pele that we have. Old enough. So it's my pleasure to award this plaque to you. It's a sincere thanks to you for your years of dedication and service as Ward 4 Councilman for the City of Boonville, February 1st, 2016. So thank you very much. And I want to say thank you to Gail, too, because anybody who's been married to a councilman knows that there are some, it can be rather stressful at times, answering phones and taking messages. And I saw her sit here one night, waiting for dinner, to be taken out to dinner, so hopefully she got that dinner. So thank you, Gail.
I move we adjourn.
Is there a second?
Second?
All those in favor say aye. All right.
That's interesting because